It is so great to see you.
So good to see you. Thank you
First
for
off, how
having
are
me.
you? Oh, we're thrilled beyond belief. First off, how are you and where are you?
I am very well. I'm healthy. My family is good, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia right now.
Oh, so you moved a little bit around during, because I know you were filming.
Right. I was filming in Canada earlier.
So what have these 9 months been like for you as an actress? Like, I mean, traveling, staying safe, the COVID, like what's it been like the past 9 months for you?
I think from March till November, I was pretty much at home with family, homeschooling my preschooler. So it was weird and crazy during that time. And then it was interesting. I think the first time I walked in the airport, I literally figured I don't know how to interact with people anymore. I've been so secluded. Even on set, we're wearing masks, and you're like, I can't even see your face to rehearse, but this is what we have to do. This is the new normal. So it's all very strange and weird. But again, I'm happy. I was very happy to be able to work during this time, and more so that we were all safe, and our production team and the whole crew was, everybody was safe and implemented what they needed to make sure it was a safe environment for everyone. It was
Yeah,
great.
the film is sensational, just so you know, and you are off the map in this. What was it like working on this film?
Oh my goodness. It was beautiful. It was so quick. I went down to New Orleans, and I think I spent maybe 2 days on set. The first day that I was there was an all nighter. It was like all day into night. It happened to be my birthday. So at 12 a.m. they sung me happy birthday, and then we still ended up shooting till 5 a.m. And it was a beautiful experience. Kingsley Benadir is an incredible artist and actor, and of course, I've always been a fan of Regina King. I think she's a beautiful, beautiful person, and I was so honored and privileged that I got a chance to be a part of her first directorial debut, and to be a part of this iconic movie with these four incredible icons. It's beautiful. It's great.
So take me back to the beginning. How did the film come about for you?
I auditioned. my my agents sent me the sign. I auditioned, and I thank you, Jesus. Thank you, baby Jesus. Yeah, I got the job. And so yeah, it was crazy. That was it.
Yeah. Well, talk about who you play and what you love about her.
I played Betty Shabazz, who was Malcolm X's wife, and I think what I loved about this uh, particular performance was that you got to see the partnership and the intimacy between them as a married couple, and just to watch them navigate a very hard decision of them leaving an organization that they both love, because for better lack of words, they weren't living up to everything that they preached, right? And so you got to see, of course, the cost of making a decision like that, and the effects that it had on the family and them as a couple.
So, what is it like playing a real life person when you're trying to craft a performance? Like, what kind of research did you do? And when do you step away from the real person? When do you just, work with your director and the script? Like, what are the challenges? Or what were
Um,
they for
I
you on this?
I definitely read the biography. I tried to find as many clips as I could on YouTube, and just really tried to take in her voice. I knew that there was a little bit of a Southern drawl, even because she was from the South. So I tried to tie in those things. And I think you take what you can, right? At the end of the day, we're actors and we're playing. So by no means am I going to be her completely, but I take whatever little nuggets that I can. If it's a wringing of the hands or the way that she smiles, if there's something that I can just take the essence of, and try to bring into that space. And a lot of it is when you get there. You can plan so much, right? And then it's not until you get into that space with the other actor and they give you something completely that throws off everything, and you have to go with it, and you find something beautiful in that collaboration. So Regina made it a very loving environment. It was easy. We had time to really find some great moments. So
So I was going to ask you, film is usually so fast. How much rehearsal time did you have? Like, how long were your shoot days and how long were your rehearsal days?
No rehearsal. I mean, you're like, you're essentially going set and ready to go. Um, so it was very quick. And this is, of course, my first feature film. So I was like a deer in headlights, like, all right, I'm ready to go. And just kind of going through the experience. But it was it was hard, and I think especially one, it was my first time doing like an all-nighter like that. It was a little crazy, I'll say. I think by the third 3 a.m. I was like, I don't even know if I'm seeing out my eyes. I don't know if I'm actually seeing you, but it was wonderful.
Because we would never know that after seeing the film. It's so interesting when, I've spoken to all these actors who's like, Richard, you're sitting in your trailer, and then all of a sudden they're like, you're on the set now, here you go. And it's like,
Right.
wow. It's like, I wonder what went on in your mind, like as you're sitting in your trailer or wherever you were prepping for your scenes or whatever, and then you're like, here we go.
Oh, it's so interesting. Luckily, a lot of my scenes I had with the little kids, with the girls, and so even I had no time to really be in my head. It was like, I want to look after these children. How are you doing? What's
Yeah.
going on? We have to be a family now. What's going through your head? So a lot of it was that. I think everybody says, you hurry up to wait, right? And
Yeah.
so for me, it was great to have people, like I said, like Kingsley, who wanted to talk about certain things or what we could do, and kept it light, drank coffee,
Yeah.
essentially, and waited until it was time to go, or slept in chairs trying to cat nap for like 20 seconds before you go shoot again. Yeah, but it was fun.
Do you love the process? I love to ask actors who started out on stage and then they make their first films or whatever. And like you said, they all told me I was a deer in headlights. And they're like, I just sat and I watched everybody work. And I was like, oh, that's how it's done. Or I'm going to sort of follow that way. I mean, was it like that for you on this?
Oh, I definitely watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I watch in any place though, whether that's the theater or anything. I just think there's so much to learn. But I almost forgot your sorry. I forgot your question.
I mean, like being on your film set, like following people and learning how they do a certain thing, saying, oh, I'll do it that way. Like, that technique of the cameras and everything else.
Oh, you know what? It's interesting. I think what I love most, I find a great connection, I think, between film and theater, and
Yeah.
that at least it's one story that you know from beginning to end. And even if you shoot it, of course, out of sequence, you know where it's going to lead, as opposed to TV sometimes feels very rushed and it's different scenes and you don't really have that time. But working on a film almost is like working on a show on Broadway or off Broadway, because it's 3 months, you're secluded, you know what I mean? And you're with people telling the story for a while. Um, but in terms of the technique, I think I definitely watch everyone around me. I'm just always learning. I'm in master classes, trying to just gain as much information as possible. Watching, of course, my artists and people do their work, because I think you never stop being a student as an actor. You always have to watch people. That's like your job.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see that. Yeah, and the different ways that people can serve themselves and how they tell stories during this time. It's interesting.
This is such an important film. One Night in Miami, of course, for people who don't know yet, it takes place on the night of February 25th, 1964. Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Jim Brown, and Sam Cooke are all alone in a room, sort of discussing the responsibility of what it means to be a successful Black man during the civil rights movement. This was so incredible as an audience member because I felt I was in that room with these men. I mean, the way Regina filmed this all. Would you just talk about the importance of this film? I mean, it was enlightening and so important in 1964, and it's as relevant today. I mean, this really could have been just four guys sitting around now talking about this. Talk about the relevance.
Right. I think more than anything, what our country needs is a conversation. And I think the beautiful thing about this is that you get these four men who all have specific ways, or they have an opinion about what's the most effective way to help the cause, right? Which is what we're all trying to figure out, what's the most effective way that we can be better human beings and better citizens and a better America. And I think it's in these conversations that we can find common ground. And sometimes it's messy. Sometimes, it leads in an argument and not all out dispute, but sometimes it can bring us together. But I think the most important thing is to have the conversation. And so to be able to see that is a beautiful thing with these men who are just such prolific figures, to hear their insights, to hear how they navigated that world at that time and how relevant it is to how we are now, is really inspiring and beautiful. And as a auntie of 10 nephews, and a sister to brothers, I just think it's a beautiful love letter to Black men, and having open conversations about how they see themselves in the world.
Yeah, beautiful. Regina King, we all fell in love with her as an actress. This is her film debut as a director. It is brilliant. I mean, what was it like being on the set with her, and just what did you take away? What did you learn from her?
Oh my God. I walked in and they were shooting the Muhammad Ali boxing fight. And so I saw everybody around the ring, and she had on her headphones. And I remember she just took the time, because a lot is, of course, going on. And it's a stressful time, right? To be a director and to try to navigate those things. And it's your first film. And she was so gracious. She just took the time to talk to me and say, I'm so happy that you're here. You landed safe. I can't wait to get started on this. We started talking about the project and things we wanted to cover. And to be able to have that time in a stressful environment is something that you don't see with a lot of people, of just connecting on a human, level, to say, I'm acknowledging you in this space, even in the midst of madness. And I want you to know that you are here, right? And we're in this together, and telling of this story. And so I think that speaks to her spirit, who she is, and telling this amazing story, and brilliant. It's a brilliant first directorial debut. I don't have any other words other than that. Yeah. But how can it not be with her?
She came to see you in Slave Play, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
So that must have been great. I mean, so much has happened to you since then. I mean, I remember you and I we talked a lot during Slave Play. I mean, so much has happened to you since then. I mean, you've gotten to do Lovecraft Country. I mean, and that is such a wild piece. I mean, I'm so happy we've all had that during the pandemic and all. What was it like playing Hannah on that? I mean, did you know where your character was even going when you got these scripts?
No. And this is the thing. Okay, we know nothing. And I had to tell my brothers and sisters, I was like, I don't know. I can't tell you. We don't get access to these scripts. Even the part where I auditioned for, my sides were not in the the actual finished product. So you're like, I really know nothing until I'm showing up on that day. And it's incredible. Misha Green, James Smollett. I mean, oh God, they're just amazing actors and creatives. And it was really exciting especially to get to work with all the special effects, because that was my first time of seeing LED lights fire and figuring out how to maneuver that and dealing with all of those, and imagine that a whole storm is happening around you. It was exciting. It was definitely a lesson in imagination.
An incredible crash course with everything since Slave Play. Like you said, between doing Lovecraft and then working with Regina King on this, I mean, wild journey you're on.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I want to ask you a few other things. I mean, now that it's 2021, what are you the most hopeful for in the new year?
Oh.
It's a big question.
It is. One, I'm hopeful for the chance that I get to see a lot of my friends, and we get to be on stage again. I'm hopeful for human connection. I'm hopeful for love and human interaction, and quite honestly, I'm ready for us to get to work, to get to the spirit work, right? To get to who we are as a people, and to find common ground again. It's been a very divisive year, and quite honestly, stressful and tiring, and I'm over it. I'm really over it. So I'm just ready. I'm ready for it to be about the work again. And I can't wait to see what more people are going to create from this madness, because I think there are lots of stories to tell within this past year of things that have happened to us. So I can't wait to see what people are going to explore and what's going to happen on stages. And hopefully we get to be on a stage again, and to share this with the world again. So that's what I'm hopeful for. And a change.
Yeah.
I'm really hopeful for a change.
Oh, the change is coming. The change is coming. Just another week or
Okay.
so, right? We just have a few more days to get through
Look,
for that
if we
change.
can hold out.
Every day another boot falls out of the sky, though, right?
I'm just waiting on the aliens at this point. I don't know. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. One of my final questions, what are you the most hopeful for with Broadway and the New York Theater opening again? How would you like it to open? What are you looking forward to? What would you like it to look like?
Oh, man. I'm ready for it to be a more inclusive environment. I'm ready to see different narratives on the stage. I'm ready to see a wide variety and diversity, from management to staff to the creative team to everybody. And so I can't wait to see the American theater look more like the world. And what does that mean? That's what I'm excited about.
Ready for tonight?
I'm as ready as a person can be. After the fight, we're all coming back here for the Champs Victory Party. Don't be late.
Minister Malcolm X. Good news, the chariot is coming.
You know I'm the greatest. That's right.
Jim Brown takes the ball.
Your record is going to stand the test of time.
How's everybody feeling tonight?
All together, yeah.
New heavyweight champion of the world.
Say, champ, you don't suppose you could sign an autograph?
Yeah, of course, man. Give him an autograph, Jim.
Actually, Mr. Cook.
Oh, sure thing, brother.
Oh, yeah, that's the sound.
Don't you think it's about time to party?
Tonight is a chance for us to reflect.
You mean no one else is coming? Well, this is off to a hopping start.
You all are a bright and shining future. You need to understand what is at stake here.
Everything's not so black and white like you make it out to be.
But we are fighting for our lives.
You know I know what's going on out there, right?
Listen, listen. Brothers and sisters, listen, listen, listen.
Miami, the champs!
Swear we'll never find a way to where we're going all alone.
The goal is for us to really be free.
When you hear the bells ring out,
We want a world
speak now,
where we're safe to be ourselves.
speak now. I told him. Can you hear the angels cry out?
To think like we want.
Speak now,
Without having to answer to anybody for it.
speak now.
We have to be there for each other.
Who's the greatest?
Can you hear the angels
You brothers could move mountains without lifting a finger.
speak